name is Barika Williams. I am an FAU nursing student. Today we're doing an interview on successful aging, and we have our guest, Mr. Larry Williams. Um, he is a 68 years old, 67 years old. So, Mr. Williams, thank you so much for providing us the opportunity to interview with you today.
Okay, you're quite welcome.
Thank you. So I do have a few questions for you. This interview is based off of the theories of Dr. Trotman Jordan for the goal of Healthy Living 2020. That goal is to improve health, function, and quality of life of older individuals. They're stating that healthy life begins at, or excuse me, they're stating that the age process begins at age 60 years old. And so we're interviewing Mr. Williams in regards to his quest on successful living. So I just have a few questions. What do you think makes people age well and live long?
I would say the aging process involves a lot of genetics or certain things that are hereditary with good healthy genes and also diet and exercise and behavior modification. Especially when you're young, you're exposed to different types of food selection, good choice of food selection that also increase your aspect of aging well and comfortable.
Very good. Can you describe some aspects that contributes to your successful aging?
The most important thing that sort of contributed to my aspect of aging as I continued to go through life was exercise, mainly when I was in my early 20s. I began to do brisk walk at least 3 or 4 times a week, and I found that to be quite relaxing and very energetic. And also, while I was in college, I had a course known as Invertebrate Anatomy, in which we dissected a pig in the lab, and not dissected, but we would identify the different parts of the pig. And one of my instructors asked the class, "Do you all eat pork?" Quite naturally, we said, "Yes, we eat chitlins and everything." With that, actually looking at the intestine and understanding the different parts of the intestine, large intestine, transverse colon, small intestine, and the fecal matter that goes through the intestine. Of course, we always washed it very well with lemon, a little bit of vinegar. But once you're actually up close and personal and understanding what goes through, and you begin to question, is this a good selection to eat? And from that experience, I began to change my diet and became a lot more conscious of what I ate.
Mm. Diet and exercise, very important. So that brings us to our next question. How would you define a healthy individual?
A healthy individual is one who's vibrant, one who's mobile, one who doesn't have disabilities, things that would hold them back with certain tasks that they cannot do, mainly because of their health ailment. Um, Individual that thinks positive.
Very good. So another question, and I believe you answered this question. The question was, what is a health tip you would give your younger self if you could? So you mentioned about diet and exercises and being aware of the foods that you're eating, and so you said that from that class that you no longer ate chitlins.
Chitlins.
So I think that's important that we recognize those things, and as I'm growing up, I realize that diet and exercise is very important, and you would agree that diet and exercise is important and has positively contributed to your successful aging?
Yes, I would agree with that 100%. And I think one of the most important things that we miss as society has changed from the 60s and 70s. We have a lot more junk food in grocery stores. We consume a lot of sugary drinks that we think is healthy, and in actuality, it's not healthy. And we also miss that most important time of sharing dinner and lunch with our families. Most of the time, kids have one selection of food that they like, parents have another one, and we don't have that quality time that we sit at the dinner table and discuss important things that involve our health. We're too busy running to the McDonald's and the Burger Kings, fatty foods.
As you can see, our table is still set from Thanksgiving holiday where our family was able to eat a good nutritious meal. That brings us to another question. How important do you think one's mindset is as they begin to age?
The aging process involves a lot of positive thinking. One really has to feel good about themselves, knowing that they can pretty much change anything in their life. Instead of dwelling on the negative, one has to incorporate more of the positive. These are the aspects that really keeps you going well, and these are positive things that your mind entertain as you continue to go through the aging process.
Okay. All right, and we're almost done with our questions. We have two more. How do you plan to age successfully?
I have always planned for the future. My aging process has been quite well. I consider myself a very energetic 67-year old, very vibrant, energetic. I still do my exercise on the treadmill. My speed is usually start at 4.0, and the last 15 minutes I can go at 4.5. Usually after 45 minutes on the treadmill, I burn about between 500 and 575 calories. So vibrant and so much stamina, in which my kids challenge me on the treadmill. And as I look around and look at them, wow, they just didn't have the endurance. They just could not keep up. And aging has been quite healthy for me.
Very good. So I wanted to end on a positive note with that, but I also want to include what has been the most difficult aspect of aging and how do you plan to overcome it?
I haven't experienced any difficult in aging, but what I have noticed is that through advertisement, we very, very seldom see any elderly faces advertising. Um, you become conscious of that even with television. You don't see many elderlies. I guess we're not marketable at that point. So aging really hasn't been difficult for me at all, mainly because of my positive thinking about life.
All right, and do you have any hobbies or anything that you do to keep you active and vibrant?
I have many different hobbies that keep me going. My retirement job at this point is I'm a property manager, and some days I may work about 45 minutes pulling weeds. Other times I may be busy with my herb garden, in which I have 26 grow bags that I try to grow different types of herbs and plants, different types of mangoes. Um, these are the things that keep me going in life.
Well, Mr. Williams, thank you so much for this great interview. I would conclude by some of the things that you said. You can say that retirement is boring for some people, but I am vibrant and living my best life.
Yes, and retirement has been great. I really enjoy retirement. It beat working long 14-hour shifts.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Williams, for your time today, and I want you to be vibrant and enjoy your best life.
Okay, you're
Thank
quite
you so
welcome,
much.
Mrs. Williams.